A black woman is being used as an incubator in Georgia. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome on board. How are you doing? So in today's video, making rounds on the internet, and the netizens are not taking it lightly. There's a huge uproar because of this particular incident. So basically, it's about a woman called Adriana Smith who has been pregnant and is on life support and is being kept alive on a life support so that she will give birth to her child due to the abortion laws in her home state in Georgia. Take a look.
Yesterday, news broke that Georgia law is forcing a family to keep their brain-dead daughter on life support. Why? Because she was 9 weeks pregnant. Adriana Smith died 90 days ago. And let's be clear, by all medical definitions, she is dead. And I want to emphasize that timeline. 90 days, that is 3 full months. If you don't think that's that long, imagine being forced to sit with the lifeless body of your child, kept breathing by machines, for 3 full months. Yeah, it's a long time. So why are we just now hearing about this? Because these states with extremist abortion bans don't want these stories being heard. After news broke last year about the deaths of Amber Thurman and Candy Miller, Georgia disbanded its maternal mortality review board. Not because they were in trouble over 2 women dying. No. They were in trouble because the press found out. Meanwhile, in Texas, they've stacked their maternal mortality review committee with anti-abortion extremists who don't believe abortion is ever medically necessary. All of this is an attempt to keep these horror stories from reaching the public. It's to prevent backlash against the effects that these abortion bans are having on real people's lives. So yeah, it's no surprise that it took 90 days for this story to break, but it is no less horrific.
It's an experiment. The brain-dead pregnant black woman in Georgia is an experiment. They are experimenting on her a la Henrietta Lacks, okay? They are wanting to see if they can incubate babies via women who are unconscious or brain dead. If they can use us as human incubators. And they're using a black woman to do it first. Hope this helps.
This whole case is terrifying. For the longest, we've always known that there is medical racism when it comes to black people, and specifically when it comes to black women. A lot of Africans do not understand this. That's why you see a lot of Africans, you would usually come to the Western world, specifically America, to give birth, because most of them do not even understand that there's a great deal of medical racism. Black women, for the longest, have been used as a specimen, like in a laboratory, to conduct all kinds of humane medical practices, right? We all know that black women are more likely to die from childbirth more than any other person. So imagine now this lady wasn't treated well when she complained of what she was feeling, was taken to the hospital. They didn't do a thorough test. They only gave her some medication. There was no CT scan. To me, she was mishandled. She wasn't treated properly, and she was just allowed to just go home. You know, that's how they dismiss black people for the most part. And we've seen a lot of cases as such repeating itself, right? I mean, you would think in 21st century now, things would have improved.
This story makes me physically sick. And when you hear about it, you will be sick too. Adriana Smith was a registered nurse who was 9 weeks pregnant. She went in for a checkup, had a ton of headaches. I think she fell asleep, couldn't wake up. Come to find out, she had a blood clot in her brain. The hospital pronounced her brain dead. However, she is being kept alive. She is being kept alive as an incubator. Why? Georgia law. It requires the baby be born after 6 weeks. So they're keeping her body alive so the baby can be born. This is inhumane. First off, the family has no say. They're not allowing the family to have any say in what happens. But also, you already know, if this baby gets born, Georgia isn't going to do a damn thing to make sure it has a good life. It can live. They're just doing it to have it be born. And this is my issue with these abortion laws. I understand the idea of giving everybody a chance at life. But when we get to the point where we're using bodies as incubators for these babies, that to me is a step too far. That's not pro-life. That's just being anti-abortion. And if this baby does live, it will live without its mother. So now someone else has to raise it and take care of it. Georgia's not going to do anything. I'm assuming the family will take responsibility, but I also hate the fact that the hospital bill will also be put on the family's heads. She's been in that hospital for 3 months now, since February. That just sounds evil. It just sounds wrong. This is too much, y'all. I'm a Christian, and I don't agree with this. If the family wants to take her off life support, they should be able to do that. No one else should decide that. No law, no governor, nobody in that hospital. But that's just me. You give me your thoughts down below about this. Jesus, you're not crazy.
Saving the child and leaving the woman who is going to take care of the child. Because the problem is, if you give out the child to people, are they really going to take care of? Are they going to be there for the child? Are they going to supply all the needs of the child? Because we all know that the state will only take that child and put it in a foster care system, and we all know what happens to children in foster care system, right? For the most part, they are not really being taken care of, and they become worse off than they should have even been in the first place, right? Let's take a look at other videos.
I'm so sorry, but what do you mean there's a 30-year-old black woman in Georgia whose doctors have been forced to keep her on life support because she was pregnant? Yes, you heard me correctly, and this video is going to have calls to action. Adriana Smith has been brain dead since February, but because of Georgia's anti-abortion laws, her doctors have been forced to keep her on life support because she was pregnant. And her family has had zero say in the matter. Additionally, the fetus is probably not going to be viable, and even if it was, this is still barbaric. And Adriana's eldest son has no idea what's going on, and his family has no idea how to explain this to him. To make matters worse, when Adriana first went to the hospital complaining of a headache, they did not test her, and instead they sent her home with medication, despite the fact that her partner begged them to watch her overnight. And then the next day she woke up and she was having trouble breathing, so they took her to the ER and they found out that she had a brain bleed. And so Adriana's mother begged them to do the surgery to stop the brain bleed, and they said no because she's pregnant, and then she died. It was medical racism and negligence that led to Adriana's death. So here's what we need to do. So along with spreading awareness, we also need you to call these numbers and demand justice for Adriana Smith and her family.
A brain-dead woman in Georgia is being forcibly kept alive to incubate a pregnancy against her family's wishes. And the full story is so much worse. Adriana Smith, 30 years old, was almost 9 weeks pregnant in early February when it was discovered that she had blood clots in her brain. She sought treatment at a local hospital and was released with medication. Her mother says that they gave her this medication, but they didn't run any tests, they didn't do a CT scan, they didn't even keep her overnight. The next morning, she was found gasping for air. Her boyfriend called 911. She was taken to the hospital where she worked as a nurse. She was later declared brain dead and has been kept on life support for more than 90 days. She was 9 weeks pregnant at that time. Doctors are now waiting until she is 32 weeks, another 11 weeks on life support, because under Georgia's heartbeat law, they are legally required to maintain life support until the fetus reaches viability. Her mother says that the decision has caused trauma for their family, both in terms of Smith's condition and the baby's health. Doctors have told her that the baby, a male, has an unknown amount of fluid on the brain. She's pregnant with the now grandson, but he may be blind, may not be able to walk, may not survive once he's born. The decision should have been left to us. Now we're left wondering what kind of life he'll have, and we're going to be the ones raising him. Over 3 months, they have been using her body as an incubator. This isn't just an anti-abortion law. This comes from fetal personhood written throughout laws. This isn't the first case of its kind. Because if you grant a fetus personhood and withdrawing life support, stopping a pregnancy, drinking alcohol, not exercising while pregnant, eating fish while pregnant, all can be construed as child abuse or murder. In 2014, there was a case out of Texas where a woman was brain dead and was being kept alive because she was pregnant. This woman was 14 weeks pregnant and was kept alive for over a month, despite the very clear wishes of the pregnant person, giving clear instructions to her husband and family that she was not to remain on any type of artificial life-sustaining treatment, ventilators or the like. hospital officials claimed it was illegal under the Texas law to withdraw such treatment from a pregnant patient regardless of any advance directive. And this is still an issue today, as we are seeing with the case out of Georgia. The rights of a fetus are being placed over the rights of the pregnant person's bodily autonomy, even past the point of their death.
Really do not understand these extreme laws when it comes to these abortion laws in the United States, right? Like, people are more inclined or are more interested in saving the child. Just like the doctor was saying, the child could, like, walk, he could likely be blind or have a threatening situation and might not even live, right? Even if he's born at the end of the day, he might not actually live. So the fact that they took the laws, they took the decision of whether to remove the mother from the life support without the family, it's quite telling of how this system works, right? And especially how the system works towards people of color, right? So it's kind of frightening, and to me, it's like trying to open a portal or trying to open a door where they're gonna bring the days where Black women are being used as specimen in the lab to try to create all kinds of stuff to see if they could devise means to create things that would make for the greater good into them, but not to, okay, just like I said, Black women's body for the longest have been used as a specimen to try different scientific medical breakthroughs, right? Because they feel Black women do not feel pain. They are usually being not listened to, even when they talk about their symptoms and how they feel exactly. Like, to me, it's trying to open another door where they're going to be using a lot of people, not just Black women, even other women as an incubator, even against your will, even against natural laws, right? This woman is brain-dead. This woman is not functioning. Why not let her go? And even with your test, it's showing that the child might not even come out to be a productive child. He might have long health complications along the way. So guys, what do you think about this Black woman being used as an incubator, right? What do you think about it? Please drop your comments in the comment section and always come back for more videos. But before you go, please hit on the like button, hit on the subscribe button, because a lot of people do usually come to watch but they do not subscribe. Please guys, hit on that subscribe button and always hit on the notification bell in order not to miss my next videos. Thank you for stopping by. Have a blessed day.